Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Westworld. This is episode 8 of the first season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in a link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. Man, the last episode was... Mate, it was crazy. That ending, mate, who expected that? If you watched that, yeah, and you said that you could anticipate that was how it was ending, I'm calling you a liar. Like, literally, definitely liar, mate. There's no way that you could have anticipated that Bernard was part of the, well, was the host, mate. It's crazy. I can't believe it. So, obviously, like, him and Teresa have gone in, they're doing an inspection of Ford, you know what I mean? Like, he's obviously doing his own thing. They're obviously worried about him. He's obviously got his own hosts in the park that are not even chipped. They're not even part of, obviously, the actual storylines, and he's got his own private little thing going on, and they've gone there. So obviously it seemed all fine. They've gone to the house, he remembered where it was, and they've gone in. Now obviously he was saying that the people that was there, his family, you know, for his dad and the kids and brothers and that, they was gone. But she was like, mate, what's in this door? And he was like, what door? That should have been a ringing alarm bells. It should have just been bam bam bam. Didn't even notice it. I just said, have you not seen that door? Like, what's going on there? So they've gone downstairs, you know, they've gone looking around, and you can see that he's manufacturing his own host within the park. So, you know what I mean? Like, not just there back in whatever their building is, their facilities, you know, he's creating his own and releasing them, obviously using most of the resources in the park anyway for his own little private storyline that he's got going on. But as he's gone down there, she's found these, you know, what blueprints, pretty much, of characters. So Dolores was there, and she was like, Bernard, what are these? Gone over and shown it him, and it's his, mate. He's there, he's confused, don't know what's going on. Ford's come in. He was like, look, mate, one of my creations. What a twist. She was like, mate, you know, did you make him sleep with me? She was like, no, mate, all that was your idea. Do you know what I mean? You was the one that kind of fell for him. It's like your fault. Then he instructed you know, he instructed Bernard to kill her. He got her head and he's smashing it against the wall, do you know what I mean? And then he put his little tie on and went back to work. Oh, mate, it was crazy. And do you know what? I was thinking about smashing people's head in against the walls, yeah? Clementine, earlier on in the episode, they used her as an example to try and say to the board that it was Ford's rollout of his new update that was causing the host to kind of go a bit crazy and remember details of the past. You know, they put her through a scene where, you know, a guy come in and he beat her up, and then they paused it and reset it and was like, play it again. But this time on the second scene, she remembered the first time that she was attacked and she reenacted her revenge. She beat him up, she smashed his head against the wall, and then when he went in and tried to shut her down, it wasn't happening, and he had to shoot her and kill her. So I mean, it was hectic. It was crazy. I really enjoyed it. Elsa, we don't know what happened to her. She was taken once and she was strangled, but we don't know where she's gone. I believe it's Arnold as well, because they have been referencing Arnold a bit. And then as well, Maeve, she's coming back consistently into the present. She's even speaking to the guys, and she was saying, look, mate, you know what? I'm not going back in there. I want to change the course of my life. I'm getting out. Do you know? So she's got a crazy storyline going as well. I think it's really interesting. I'm excited. Mad twist at the end of last episode. It's probably the biggest twist that we've had this season. It was really good. And I cannot wait to see the aftermath of today's. What's happened to Elsa? What's going to happen to Teresa? Is she alive? And is, you know, is Bernard just going to get up and go back to work like nothing's changed? You know what I mean? Mad, mate. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you do enjoy it, please smash like. Really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
Bring yourself back online.
She's gone. What have I done? What have I done?
This guilt you feel, the anguish, the horror, the pain, it's remarkable. And you should be proud of these emotions you're feeling. When we started, the host's emotions were primary colors. The human engineers were not up to the task, so I built you. One man's life or death, there were but a small price to pay for the acquirement of the knowledge which I sought.
Raise this place to hell!
It's enough, Bernard.
Out of anything, he just gets control just like that. It's dead easy.
You're not the first man to threaten me. I need you to be yourself, your true self. Smart, resourceful. Can you do that for me, Bernard? Any connection that ties us to Teresa's untimely demise. When you have finished, I will give you the one thing you want most. I will free you from those memories of what you have done. When you look back, you will remember Teresa with the fondness of a respected colleague, and you will be at peace.
What I've noticed is Clementine's not here right now.
You knew. Not much of a rind on you.
Usual, Clem?
Thank you. This fellow won't take me long. I'll be back directly. What the hell is happening to me? One moment I'm with a little girl. Next I'm back in Sweetwater. I can't tell which is real. Is she still in the park somewhere? And why was I reassigned in the first place?
That's a good question.
Doesn't matter. I'm getting out. That's enough for me.
Fine. Go then.
You would still need an army to break out of here.
That's exactly right. I'll need allies. I'll need administrative privileges. Time to write my own fucking story.
Right, I know she's like, oh yes you will, darling, but like, why? I understand, right? So for these guys, at first it was scary, then it was like fascinating. Now it's like, what is it? They're getting no benefit out of it. Basically, they get kind of getting bullied into doing it. And like, not bullied, but do you know what I mean? Like, she's just like, mate, if you don't do it, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? I'll reveal information on you or something. And they've got no benefit in helping her there. It can only just go downhill. Let's be honest, it could go downhill. What would you rather do, right? Would you rather go and tell the board now, like, look, mate, yeah, we've been pissing around with this host and, do you know what I mean, she's acquired a bit of info, or whatever, or would you let it go further and further and further? Because at the end, there's going to be, do you know what I mean? Well, it's a show, so obviously it is going to go further, and she is probably going to succeed and probably stay in the real world. But in reality, do you know what I mean? The right thing to do was just go tell your boss, look, fucked up a little bit here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we messed up. I'd rather nip it in the bud now before it gets even worse, because she's just expanding and expanding. Mate, let's just do a rebuild, full rebuild, take the bomb out or whatever. Do you know what I mean? We'll start again, rebuild the whole body, change my emotions, do this, do that. I need allies. I'm gonna get people in on my side. I'm gonna rock with it, going for it. You know what I mean? I'm escaping. I'd be like, mate, I didn't sign up for any of this. I was fascinated by a little bird that was flying around, and now I'm like all in. Do you know what I mean?
Dolores. Ghost Nation must have found him. We should keep moving, Dolores.
One's alive somewhere.
Water.
Keep it in canteen.
How'd you know about the train?
It's a word from Pariah. Told him a man and a woman double-crossed us.
How'd you fit his Logan?
Or kill you all.
What kind of people would we be if we simply let him suffer?
Well, I'd just kill him then. I'd just shoot him or stab him.
Please still leave me.
Oh.
Come find me.
William?
That's the second time we've seen her be somewhere and she's looked around and people are not there.
We found her up on Python Pass, the bottom of a ravine.
Instead
Has her
of
family
human.
been notified? Any idea what she was doing out there?
None that fit her character. This was found near her body. It's loaded with a suite of proprietary data, including some of the host's core code.
Do we know who the data was intended for?
No.
It's a disappointing end to her story, isn't it?
She seemed most concerned with the new narrative.
It seems yesterday's demonstration was a hoax, a clumsy set of fingerprints left by one of QA's technicians. You can automate most of the park's safety protocols, Mr. Stubbs.
How efficient of you.
But with Bernard's help, I should be able to do it. He will be reinstated as head of behavior.
See what I mean? Like, he's still calling the shots, but yet they want him to be scared of the board. You see what I'm saying? So, like, the board wanted to get rid of him, right? And he knows that. But he, like, earlier on in the season, they keep talking about, oh, we need to please the board this, the board that. Do you know what I mean? And they kind of go on about Ford, and he obviously just don't give a shit. Like, he don't care who the board is. Which is interesting, because then, you know what I mean? Basically, he just owned up. He's like, look, what a coincidence, mate. You know, we checked the code yesterday. It was a hoax. Next day, you know, we find out that she may be transmitting, you know, data out of the park. Oh, no, lucky, she's had a slip and fall. And he's done like a little smile. And you know what? Yeah, well, I'll take over the department. No worries. You know what I mean? I'll write the code. I'll make sure it's okay. You know, I get Bernard back on my side. He could be the head of again. And, you know, we'll go forward. It's like, if you looked at it pragmatically, it's like, it's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like, it's too obvious. Yesterday, you was trying to be, you know, pretty much set up by this person to say your code's not right, and now the next day that person's dead and you're getting full control over writing the new code. You know what I mean? But yeah, he still obviously calls the shots, and the board seemed to be a little bit scared of him. She didn't even counter him once.
Brass are wound up tight. There's an investigation into us. Would I be here telling you, you fucking idiot? Something else, some kind of accident in the park. Things you need to change are burned into your core code so deep no one can touch them. All Lutz here can do is boost your sense of humor about how fucked you are. Anything deeper than that, you need a trip to behavior.
The things I need you to change are quite sophisticated. Like you said, I can be someone else's problem.
I want to know what she wants to change and do.
We do this thing. Get her up to behavior. It's our only chance. When you make a system update, it puts her out, right? Yeah, then we brick her.
Yo, do you know the guy on the right? Yeah, what he's saying is not that far-fetched. You know what I mean? He just wants to get out of it.
We're in his land now. We better be, because if not, you're wasting time I don't have. Always admired your resolve, Theodore. The thing is, you never understand the game is rigged. You're here to be the loser. Loser? You see, the house always wins.
He actually remembered without somebody saying something in his ear. Someone else sounds like they're alive.
I'm not gonna hurt you. It's you. I figured
Oh, it's her from the boards.
Ford never likes to waste a pretty face.
I reckon she's in on like a coup or something. Look, how's he remembering? And he's gonna remember him taking. Oh, he's definitely dead now.
Well, you can't remember shit, but you still managed to lead us to Wyatt's crew.
Why is that woman there? Like, honestly, why is she there? Like, she didn't... Well, we're only halfway through the episode, but she didn't even do anything. Like, they could have got attacked without even stopping. Like, one little pit stop to her. They could have just carried on walking, and somebody could have come in and attacked them. She didn't react to the fight at all. Didn't even make one word, one sound. Do you know what I'm saying? She just sat there, just looking. Now, she is the person that introduced... I forgot his name now. The guy, William, to the park. You know, she said, have you got any questions? And I was like, yeah, how'd you get those massive shoulders? Because she had big shoulders. But she is a pretty face. And he's saying, mate, you know, Ford, I guess he don't like to waste them. And this is probably one of the only shows that you could probably see characters in different scenarios, different clothes, different timelines. And it makes total sense why they're there. It's good because you can kind of utilize the cast many a time. Do you know what I mean? Like these dudes here, yeah, for example... They could do this thing with Maeve now, and along the way they get shot and they die. But next episode, we could see him in the park. He could be behind the bar or something. Do you know what I mean? He could be a ranger that's coming in, and it would make total sense. They could actually, you know what I mean? You could have a small cast, but a big cast, because you could do it in so many roles. And that's kind of the beauty of this show and how it's kind of played out. Going too fast. Put down, host. Oh, okay.
We have to shut your system down now.
Good luck.
He's like, what?
Sure. Brick this bitch and get out of here.
He's gonna do it anyway, though, ain't there?
I was hoping I was going to see you again. I wanted to apologize. Our first encounter was under such unfortunate circumstances.
Teresa wasn't a traitor. Everything she did was at Delos's behest. She slipped and fell while helping the board with something very important.
Shush.
You really think that Ford has entrusted you with a key character for his story? But happily for you, Mr. Sizemore, I think that you are ready for a real job.
Working for you? On what?
Show, don't tell.
But she was the fucking host. This was never gonna end any other way.
Thank you.
Jesus fuck!
Turns out your friend has a little more compassion than you. Would you like to know exactly what he did give me?
Would allow you to walk out of here and out of my life for good.
Let me show you.
Oh. Shit.
You said you wouldn't hurt anyone.
We might need him.
Right, do you know before, right, I used to work bullying. I was thinking, bullying, that's not, it's blackmailing. That's what it is. They're kind of getting blackmailed. But that guy, oh, he's got a bit more compassion than you. I was saying, mate, the dude that's just got his neck cut, realistically, he's the right one. It's like compassion. You don't want to take, like, an innocent life or whatever. But it's like, say, for example, all the major terrorists in the world, every single one of them, you can get them all. And you can press this button right here, right now. I'm going to give it you. I'm going to give you this button. All you have to do is press it. Every terrorist in the world can die. But the catch to it is, so's all their loved ones, their close families, their wives and their kids. What are you going to do? Do you know what I mean? I'm giving you that. So, you can kill every terrorist, but you also got to kill their family. What is it? You know, are you able to press it? I tell you what I would do. I'd go, ping. I'd do both hands, ka-ching. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because you know what? There's casualties in war. There is. Do you know what I'm saying? And you can't have compassion in certain situations. You got to think of the greater good. Do you know what I mean? The right thing to do. And that is the right thing to do. It is. He realistically was saying the right things to do. Now, yes, I understand that he's compassionate because she's really just laid there and you can't really end her life, but she's not real, man. I mean, she can become real, possibly, but do you know what I'm saying? She's a host in the game. If you're going to get connected like this for one, imagine every single one that comes out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be hooked on every one of them. I want her to wear a different set of clothes. I mean...
Expecting someone, Maeve?
An old flame with an interest in safe-cracking.
Hope your guests have some deep pockets. Tabs run up higher than a thief's pulse in church.
Maeve's tab was in such excellent standing. She deserved a token of gratitude.
How's she controlling the other host now, then? Back to Black. That's the song in the background.
And the bartender suddenly recalled he had some whiskey in the back to water down.
If you're riding into our town under the company of armed men, you'll need to state your business.
Mayhem.
Just once I'd like him not to get shot, that guy.
The sheriff judged the riders to be upstanding, God-fearing citizens.
I was gonna say she's gonna shoot him anyway. Right, I get that she's controlling him, but how? Like, what has she actually changed? And, you know, she went upstairs, she had a full shutdown. She's pressing the buttons so fast, I didn't really know what she was doing. But clearly, she's got a power like Ford now. She could literally come in and waft, well, she's not wafting a finger like, but she's going in and she's changing the whole narrative of the story. Now, this, in my opinion, should be getting flagged up in, you know, in the board or the office or whatever. Because they do sit down, and when somebody ventures out somewhere that's not part of their, you know, loop, so to speak, they say, well, this person's going in. They go, well, are they with the guest? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, now here, they'd be like, what's going on? How's this happened? Do you know what I mean? Like, who's controlling them?
Now we can resume work on our new narrative without interference. I wonder, what do you really feel? A programmer who knows intimately how the machines work, and a machine who knows its own true nature.
I do not understand the things that I feel. My wife, loss of my son.
Every host needs a backstory, Bernard, you know that. There is no threshold that makes us greater than the sum of our parts, no inflection point at which we become fully alive. We can't define consciousness because consciousness does not exist. We live in loops, as tight and as closed as the hosts do. No, my friend, you're not missing anything at all.
Have you ever made me hurt anyone like this before?
That's a good question.
No, Bernard. Of course not.
You would never know if who's telling the truth.
We're here. I'm home.
I don't know what she means by that, though. She's home. Like, what's she expecting when she gets over there?
Stay with your partner.
Oh, there's a snake tattoo.
Did you find what you were looking for, Dolores?
This kid, mate. What has she got to play in it? There's that church. What's going on, mate?
What are you doing?
Is this now? Am I going mad? Are you real? I can't tell anymore. It's like I'm trapped in a dream, a memory from a life long ago. One minute I'm here with you, and the next.
Do you reckon that's where the maze is? See, do you know what I'm trying to figure out with that is? She's trying to figure out if it's real or not. You know what I mean? That's what she's trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is that a past or is that the future? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Now, the future would not make sense. Well, it'd be harder to make sense because in the present, yeah, the way I see it is in the present, I've seen Ford at that park in a place that looks exactly like where she's just been, and it's not constructed yet. Now, obviously, in her memories, she's in that place, fully constructed, and chaos is happening. So it's like, she must have been there in the past for her to have those memories. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or in the future, is he recreating something that was there in the past? I don't know, man. Like, she's just confused in general, like, whether or not she's in the real world or I'm confused whether, like, what timeline we're in. Are we in the present, past, or future? Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
We gotta get you closer to Sweetwater. This far out, it's like you start to break down or something. Well, well, well.
Logan. I do think he's proud of him. I don't know, man. Like, when he left him, he was smirking, even though he was getting beaten up. Yes, he was acting good, mate, in that first episode.
What are you uploading?
35 years of vitally important data.
This data that you're uploading, is it the host codes?
As of this moment, that doesn't concern you. What does concern you is giving him a semblance of a personality and getting him on the train. Remember,
what's the board's intention?
brevity is the soul of wit.
I feel like everyone's dead sketchy, me. I'm not gonna lie, they're all dead sketchy.
I know this must be difficult for you. Forgive the intrusion. You were both very discreet, but it's my job to know these things.
I respected Teresa, and what happened to her was tragic, but to be honest, I barely knew her.
Have you heard from Elsie Hughes?
I'm sure she's just enjoying her time off.
Well, this guy might actually be a good guy. He reminds me a little bit of Jason Bourne.
They kept whispering. They said this world didn't belong to the old settlers or the new.
Wyatt says to claim this earth or raise it to the ground, but this has always been a mystery to me. I had time to consider the best way to make you talk. Tell me!
You really are an idiot, Teddy.
I'm gonna kill you slowly.
No, you aren't. The rules of this place hold you back. I'm a god. Family man. I'm the good guy, Teddy. Last year, my wife took the wrong pills. Tragic accident. Then at the funeral, I tried to console my daughter. Told me that my wife's death was no accident. That she killed herself because of me. She said if I stacked up all my good deeds, just an elegant wall I built to hide what's inside from everyone. So I came back here. I found a woman, an ordinary homesteader, and her daughter. See if I had it in me to do something truly evil. I killed her and her daughter. Then, just when I thought it was done, the woman refused to die.
Oh. Killed her for having that flashback and trying to get back at him.
I felt nothing. All my years coming here, I'd never seen anything like it. She was alive, truly alive, if only for a moment. That was when the maze revealed itself to me.
Oh.
There's a deeper game here, Teddy. Arnold's game.
So she can control these.
She's not responding, and the other hosts have been unable to intercept. I've authorized a TAC team to retrieve her.
I'm glad they've finally picked up on the randomness.
Sir, she won't respond to verbal commands. We can't shut her down.
Leave us now, clear the floor. That's better.
So calm.
An old trick from an old friend.
I don't understand this. How, why can't she shut down though? That's what I'm saying. Like, why couldn't they stop her then from controlling her?
Yeah.
So that's happened before. Like, she didn't get controlled.
You think I lack conviction? Wyatt didn't burn my world down, didn't have to. I left it all behind for this one.
He's tied. Unarmed.
So was the little girl he killed. Perhaps I can help you. It's time we came back to the fold.
Look at them, they're all behind. I knew that she was a decoy. I said that straight away. Mate, the episodes are good, but now I'm slowly like not following. Say not following is the right word. Like now, like so far it's been right. I got to use my head. I got to think. I've got to try and go for it. But now we stepped it up. Like this episode, we've proper gone like all over the place. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to think and what's happening and like let's just start with Dolores, yeah? What she's seeing, is it real or is it not? Has it happened or is it going to happen? Or is it a distant memory? Do you know what I mean? Like, she's gone there and she's seen this church, but it's not a church in the present. But in her memories, it is. It's a fully fledged thing. And that little girl that she's seen sat at the fountain, the one that the man in black, you know, killed all the family and she gave him the place to go. She turned up and she was asking the questions and then the shooting started and then she ran away. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's she playing at? Do you know what I mean? What's she playing at? Do Do you know what I mean? Again, that's interesting. And Dolores now twice has been in a situation where like she's been around people and then she's turned and then nobody's there and she's on her own, and it's like, is it real or is it not? Like, what's happening? Is she actually going anywhere, or is she just dreaming it? That's literally what I'm thinking as well. That's another thing. You know, another thing that's popped into my head is that, you know, I was saying, you know what's so noticeable when Ford sits down and talks to people like Dolores and she's naked, and when Bernard does, she's not. And like, I wonder if it was their little Easter egg to tell us that Bernard's the same as them. But do you know what I mean? And like, he doesn't have the same mindset as the humans, because the humans know that they're not real. Do you know what I mean? And like, they don't have those sort of feelings. They don't feel embarrassed, the host. That's what he was saying, wasn't it? When that guy didn't covered up, he was like, he don't feel the cold. Where like, obviously, if he's a host or whatnot, maybe he does feel it. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, that was another different thing there that I was thinking of. You know, Teresa is dead. You know, I'm pretty wounded about that, to be honest. They said that she's fell and she's died. You know, no, I was saying it's a bit too obvious. If you try and put 2 and 2 together and you just look at it, do you know what I mean? Like, she's called out a cold, then obviously she's faked it, then she's given a show, and then Ford's knew that, and then obviously she's gone outside, and then obviously she's been killed, and then information's been transmitted, and then he's been saying that he's found it, and now he can rectify it. It's like everything's just falling into place. It's too perfect and it's suspicious. And I do believe the board members like thinks that he's involved in it. But, you know, again, the guy that I was saying kind of reminds me of Jason Bourne a little bit. The one that goes out and retrieves him. Do you remember when that guy smashes on his head with Elsa and then he was in the pit and he was climbing up? Him, yeah. You know, I feel like he feels like something's going on now because he's gone to speak to Bernard and he was saying, yeah, I know that, you know, you didn't really tell anybody, you're supposed to be quiet, but people can read things, situations, and we kind of knew that he was dating. He didn't say that, but he's a blatant insinuation. And he was like, mate, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we've never been really more than friends. I hardly even knew her. And then he asked her about Elsa, and he was like, yeah, she's on holiday or something. But, like, I don't know if, I can't remember if maybe the best thing to do would be like, you know, maybe today say, where's Elsa? And he's like, oh, she's in the park. And then tomorrow, you know, Elsa was in the park, and he was like, oh no, she's on holiday. And then you're like, well, you give out two conflicting things there. Maybe that's what's happened when he said that, because he looked a bit confused and concerned about that as well. And then again, you know, this storyline with the man in black here, and he's told how he's gone and he's killed Maeve's kid, and then he tried to kill Maeve and he didn't kill her, but then it was the first time the maze opened up itself to him. It was the first time he's seen a host kind of be alive in that moment. Again, that's really interesting. It's ruthless that he's killed that little kid. Honestly, that's the first time we've seen that. And I know I say all the time that it's a game and it'd be fun to play, but I have said as well, it's different because these look real. Do you know what I mean? Like in Grand Theft Auto, yeah, you could tell it's a game. Where they look like real people, so regardless of it, it takes a lot to go over and shoot someone or stab them. And then obviously at the end there, Teddy's been stabbed by that woman who I actually thought was part of a decoy anyway. You know, why would everybody be dead and she's unharmed? Yeah, she was tied up, but she didn't react when anybody come down to fight. I said, look, she's not even made a word, she's not screamed, she's not said anything. She didn't even like, wasn't even scared. And then I'd listen to all that story just then at the end and stabbed him, and then all them people come out in the bushes. It is mad. It's interesting. Oh, it's been a good episode. Definitely got me thinking a lot. I mean, I'm not too sure if I'm picking up correctly what's going on, but mate, a lot of stuff is going on. And that's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So, like I said, mate, crazy stuff is actually going on. It's really interesting. We started off with obviously confirmation that Teresa actually had died, and Bernard, you know, now under fully control of you know, Ford. You could tell that his emotions was running wild. He was tearing up, he was crying, and he was saying pretty extraordinary, to be honest, the emotions that he's displaying. Look how far we've come, what we've achieved. You know, when we first started, it was just general emotions like sad and love and happy, but look at this, mate. He started asking him questions about obviously his family and his kid and stuff like that, and he was saying, look mate, you know, as you know, every host has to have a good backstory, and that was your one. But the thing is as well, yeah, just like you see with Maeve, it's kind of similar backstory. She had a kid in one of the timelines, and now look at her, she's hardcore going for it. Now it might not be going for it for the kid, but what I'm saying is, because it's so implemented into her brain that now she's doing actions. Do you know what I mean? She's retaliating. She's changing the way that she's thinking and the way she's viewing things. You know what I mean? Like, she killed Clementine then, which isn't the Clementine that we know. It was a different one for this episode. But the actions was a retaliation to the man in black in the vision of her daughter. Do you know what I mean? So when she was in the lab and she was speaking to those guys, she was asking questions about a kid and stuff like that, and then she was like, do you know what, never mind, do you know what I mean, that's another lifetime away, I'm focusing on this one, I want to get out of this place, I want to live in this world. So she kind of like pushed that one aside. But when she was back in the park, yeah, she had these visions again, and she was seeing it, and this was the first time, you know, usually we see him come in, they back up against the wall, she shoots him a few times, he goes over, he stabs her. We're not seeing the aftermath with the child, but he was explaining, the man in black, with his story, that, you know, for 30 years he was married to somebody, and he thought, well, it sounded like he thought it was going great. She thought it was terrible. She ended up killing herself. He didn't know that she killed herself until his daughter told him that at the funeral. And you know, all this time he's been coming here, and like, she really knew the monster that he kind of was. You know what I mean? She's lived with him, maybe okay on the outside, but she knew that deep down he wasn't really a great person. And he's like, do you know what? I wanted to test my limits. I come here knowing that it wasn't real. This is, I said earlier on in the season as well, it's kind of like a perfect place for psychopaths and murderers and killers. You know what I mean? They can go in there, they can do all this and enact all this crazy stuff, the fantasies, and then they could go and live back in the normal real world with no repercussions. Probably why it costs so much a day. He's gone there. He stabbed her. He shot the kid and killed her. And then obviously she's retaliated and attacked him again. You know, she tried to cut his neck, it didn't actually work, and then she's grabbed the kid and obviously gone outside and they died together. But the interesting thing is, yeah, in that one where she slashed him, she actually slashed Clementine in the present where she was, and you know what I mean, she had no control of her body. But she has got control of other hosts. It's like she's a god herself now. You know, she's done this, she's gone up, reprogramming, she's shut down, she's woken. She's killed one of the guys that was there, which is really interesting. That was helping her. Then, obviously, you know, she's gone back into the park. She's been able to manipulate and change scenarios and situations. And I'll have this, I'll have that. You do this. I'm going here. You're doing that. And again, I was saying, why is it not being flagged up to the hierarchy? You know, they sit there and inspect and watch the game and notice any different little anomaly things that have been changing. And you know what I mean? It only got flagged up right at the very end when she managed to like run away. But again, they've come in the room to grab her at the end. It's interesting. Is she going to go back up into the real place? How's she figuring out how to get out of there? She seems to be acquiring a lot of information. She's been sat on a tablet. She's been working it. She obviously knows what she's doing, what she thinks she does. And, you know, I am excited to see where it's going. Again, very intrigued with the Maeve storyline. In terms of the Elsie one, I'm wounded. If she's full on dead, Bernard's killed her, I'm fuming because she was good. Teresa wasn't that bad as well. She wasn't. And do you know what? This board member, you know, from 4, she's come in. She's sketchy. She is. Like, I feel like they're all proper sketchy. It's like they all keep the cards close to the chest and don't withhold, you know, reveal any information to anybody. And, like, she's gone down there and she's uploaded 35 years worth of, like, coding and knowledge into her dad, Dolores' dad, which we seem was like a malfunctioning guy who actually remember. You know what I'm saying? So now she's picked the worst host that she could have put it in. Let's be honest. And now the English guy's been tasked with getting him out of the park. Again, do you know what I'm saying? It's very interesting. So, I mean, crazy stuff's happening. Madness. I'm liking it. It's exciting. It's intriguing. Still don't know what's going on. We're getting close to the end of the season. Think, what was this now? 8? 2 more left and the season's done, so I mean, it's going to pick up and go even more wild. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.